Upper Hand: The Future of Work for the Rest of Us by Sherrell Dorsey. Hi everyone. Today I am going to review the book, Upper Hand: The Future of Work for the Rest of Us by Sherrell Dorsey. Disinvestment compromises equal workforce growth opportunities for non-white communities. From the 1950s to the 1990s, many black families in America moved from poverty into the middle class, thanks to access to affordable education, health care, training programs and new job opportunities opened by the Civil Rights Act. Sherrell Dorsey, for example, watched her mother go from cleaning houses to obtaining a college degree and becoming a social service worker in child welfare. She later attained managerial positions in nonprofit organizations. Dorsey's mother even bought a home in 1988. Unfortunately, today, gentrification and disinvestment compromise social mobility for black and other minority families. Tech corporations such as Amazon and Microsoft, whose workforces are mostly white, have taken over lower-income neighborhoods and capitalized on state funding for growth. These companies pushed non-white residents out of homes and family-owned businesses, and deprived them of equal education opportunities, thus limiting their ability to apply for high-paying jobs. It is a narrative that mirrors that of every other unfortunate story about people of color who had never been invited to join in the city's progress and certainly not within a job that would govern the future. With fewer resources and less access to information, marginalized communities must learn to navigate the future of work by taking advantage of community networks, technology and funding. People of color must become a part of the industries that build the future. Internships provide upward economic mobility opportunities. Marginalized communities can level the job opportunity playing field through paid internships, which open up networking options and access to high-paying jobs. They also help lower-income students earn during summer breaks. For example, Jessica Santana, a young Puerto Rican girl raised in the Louis Heaton Pink housing projects of Brooklyn, was the first person in her family to attend college. She landed an accounting internship at Deloitte that led to a lucrative job offer in its technology sector and a six-figure salary. Being the only woman of color at her company and dealing with microaggressions inspired Santana to create the nonprofit America on Tech in 2014. This organization helps people like Santana gain access to the technology business sector by providing students with skill training and internships at companies such as NBC Universal, Microsoft and Deutsche Bank. To ignore the value of the mom-and-pop shop job experience is a missed opportunity. Thanks to organizations like America on Tech, opportunities for women and students of color are expanding. From local communities to larger corporations, many companies now offer online internships and access to jobs through vocational schools and boot camp training programs. Certificate and training programs help students avoid college debt. According to the U.S. Department of Education, American student loan debt reached $1.6 trillion in 2022. Debt hinders graduates from accumulating wealth, buying homes and starting families. Black graduates owe an average of $25,000 more than their white counterparts. At the same time, black students tend to choose less expensive majors that feed into lower-paying jobs, which further impacts their future earnings potential. The democratization of learning through online courses, affordable certificate programs and specialized skill training boot camps has helped alleviate the pressure T0 take on student loans. For example, Boston native Paris Athena worked as a wax specialist making $50,000 a year until she obtained a boot camp scholarship for technology skills training. Within 6 months, Athena landed a junior developer job that doubled her salary. Prospects are opening what once was only available to those hailing from prestigious universities and traditional programs. Boot camps and certificate programs boast a 90% placement rate for graduates and have a median cost of $13,000. They provide affordable, accessible options for those unable to afford college. Technology careers allow marginalized communities to participate in the process of building the future. New technology fundamentally alters human life each year. Increasing automation of services puts the livelihoods of people of color, who dominate in low-wage jobs, at risk. Many employers and schools have implemented training programs to teach the tech skills needed to thrive in the future. For example, Blue Studios teaches STEM skills to K-12 students and to adults through its virtual classroom programs. Becoming a part of the technology sector protects at-risk communities from automation. It helps battle coded biases created by the predominantly white engineers who build today's software. For example, police officers often use facial recognition software made without incorporating black faces. This has led to misidentifications and wrongful arrests. We don't have to be afraid of robots. We just need to know how to work with them. Dr. Ruja Benjamin, a Princeton African American Studies professor, warns that without the involvement of more diverse coders, builders and engineers, technology will increase racial and economic discrimination. The more black engineers occupying tech roles, the more inclusive software and technology become. Increased access to wealth creation opportunities bridges racial and class divides. According to Federal Reserve research, white families have significantly higher levels of financial stability because of generational exposure to tax-sheltered savings, investment resources, higher education and wealth growth knowledge. Black and Hispanic families often lack access to those resources. Black and Hispanic communities suffer disadvantages when it comes to navigating college, choosing a career and negotiating a competitive salary. Sherrell Dorsey recounts how she missed out on tens of thousands of dollars when her company went public because she did not know how to negotiate her salary, weigh stock options and bonds, or choose investment strategies. Understanding where the jobs are, where they are going, and what they pay is critical knowledge. Thankfully, technology and social media have increased the accessibility of wealth knowledge. Black and Hispanic-owned companies such as Cadre and Capway, for example, use digital platforms to help people build commercial real estate portfolios, find investment advice and understand banking strategies. App creators Travis Holloway and Rodney Williams created a loan app that helps people avoid predatory loans that often cripple borrowers with excessive fees. These companies help people from marginalized communities earn more income and open opportunities for wealth growth. Leveraging work experience through personal branding creates networking opportunities. While social media has shed light on the diverse faces and voices of scientists, mathematicians and engineers with hashtags such as #ILookLikeAnEngineer, the actual industry doesn't reflect this new branding. McKinsey's Women in the Workplace 2020 report states that, for every 100 men that companies promote, they only promote 85 women. The gap increases when considering black women. For every 100 men, only 58 black women receive promotions. White men still dominate C-suite positions. For anyone not white, male or an Ivy League graduate, equal access to higher-paying jobs remains elusive. Because communities of color largely lack access to expensive schools, they lack inroads to the networks that would land them C-suite positions. What matters, when you don't necessarily have access, is intentionally designing our pathways. Technology and digital platforms can provide an in with top professionals when individuals learn how to capitalize on personal branding and leverage their work experience online. Sherrell Dorsey utilized blogs, LinkedIn profiles and other platforms to constantly promote her every career accomplishment. These actions helped her gain entrance to the professional spaces that boosted her business. Non-white entrepreneurs investing in marginalized communities close racial disparity gaps in venture capital funding. Online platforms, crowdsourced funding and social media tools have opened opportunities for traditionally marginalized communities to build and create their own businesses. Sherrell Dorsey started a small PR business online with only $500 and quickly grew it into a side hustle that paid her rent. Fully 97% of venture capital funding still goes to white males from San Francisco and New York. Black-owned investment firms and entrepreneurial support organizations have stepped up to compensate for this disparity. Venture firms such as 100 Black Angels and Allies Fund, and organizations such as Black Innovation Alliance work tirelessly to provide capital, networking and corporate partnerships to minority startups. There's no one right way to make entrepreneurship work for you. These firms invest in fields they view as having high growth potential. According to CB Insights research, these areas are consumer electronics, healthcare, advanced computing, energy and smart cities, to name a few. For example, Varuna, a clean tech company that started after the Flint, Michigan water crisis, utilizes AI software to monitor municipal water supplies and prevent contamination. Black-owned investment firms investing in Black-owned businesses give marginalized communities tools to revitalize their neighborhoods and participate in economic progress. Media representation expands notions of the possible for communities of color. When Sherrell Dorsey was in high school, she saw Mary Pugh, a Black woman who founded the Pugh Capital investment firm, on the cover of Black Enterprise magazine. This image gave Dorsey a new perspective on what Black women could accomplish. Representation in media matters because, as Dorsey states, without knowing what's possible, she might never have created her own business. The language has to shape the perspective of what our community is capable of. A 2012 to 2016 census study reported that only 23% of U.S. media personnel are people of color. These numbers help explain the dearth of stories focused on the business successes of people of color. However, today, many of those previously left out of the media conversation have taken advantage of digital platforms to tell their stories. Dorsey's online publication, The Plug, highlights Black tech stories, and news about Black businesses and universities, to inspire the next generation of minority-owned startups. With more diverse voices included in business tech news, non-white communities gain exposure to inclusive opportunities. Equal access to technology helps people of color access job resources, healthcare and education. When the pandemic hit, schools closed and classes went online. The digital disparity between those who had access to computers and the Internet, and those who did not, became starkly apparent. 15 to 16 million students, 40% of whom were Black, Latino and Native, could not access education resources because they did not have in-home Internet. Many low-income families couldn't afford to buy laptops or upgrade broadband services, and many in rural areas had no Internet available at all. It's important we recognize how we've left out a substantial portion of people in the digital divide conversation. Without equal access to technology, communities of color are at risk of further exclusion. Policy efforts such as the Federal Emergency Broadband Benefit Program and the Accessible, Affordable Internet for All Act have made some headway, but to fully close the gap, private and public efforts must invest in Internet for all. Takeaways. Disinvestment compromises equal workforce growth opportunities for non-white communities. Internships provide upward economic mobility opportunities. Certificate and training programs help students avoid college debt. Technology careers allow marginalized communities to participate in the process of building the future. Increased access to wealth creation opportunities bridges racial and class divides. Leveraging work experience through personal branding creates networking opportunities. Non-white entrepreneurs investing in marginalized communities close racial disparity gaps in venture capital funding. Media representation expands notions of the possible for communities of color. Equal access to technology helps people of color access job resources, healthcare and education. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.